Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. Me and Tank are still on our little impromptu camp trip, and I say impromptu, but I had scheduled a week of vacation to do a little camping, and I was hoping that me and my wife and the dogs would get out somewhere and enjoy some time in the woods. But as it turned out, my wife was unable to take time off, and so I threw a little bit of camping gear in the Jeep and put Tank in there, and we headed to the mountains. I wanted to take a look at some places that I hadn't been before, maybe a little scouting for hunting season. And I hadn't spent much time in the western part of the state, so did that scare you, boy? My raincoat fell off my truck there. It rained yesterday, and we're kind of drying out today. But at any rate, so that's what I've done. I'm at a place called Hidden Valley Lake. It's a wildlife management area, and it's beautiful up here. It's a small lake. It's got good fishing in it, and it's in the western part of Virginia. It's actually about a 15-20 minute drive away from Bristol, which is a city that borders both Tennessee and Virginia, and that gives you a little bit of the idea of where I'm at. I've enjoyed traveling through Appalachia, and we've been camping in the National Forest, George Washington a little bit, and most of the time in the Jefferson National Forest, riding up 81, cutting off of some roads, finding some rock roads and some dirt roads, and finding some, really nice places. But that's really not the topic for this video. I apologize that I ramble sometimes. I wanted to talk about this knife a little bit, give you sort of a first look. And it's a knife I've had for a while, and I've used it in the kitchen just a little bit, not much. I really haven't done much with this knife, but it's been the knife that I have used as my belt knife exclusively for the last 6 days. So I thought I would talk a little bit about it, show it to you a little bit. This is from Bark River, and it's called the Bravo 1.25. Okay. Now, give you some specifications of the knife. It has a 5-inch blade, which if you've seen a few of my knife videos, I really like that area size of knives as that all around camping, hunting, whatever type of knife. And it has a very thick material. It's almost 1/4 of an inch thick, and that may be a turn off to some guys, and some guys may like that, but some guys may like a thinner knife because it's a little bit more capable in the slicing and other chores that you do around camp that you really don't need a sharpened crowbar for, right? Well, this has a full height convex grind, and it's done in such a way that this knife, even though it has a very thick spine, does slice pretty well. Maybe not as well as some other knife, but it does slice pretty well. I've used it for food preparation for this whole trip. I've used it for just about everything. And I really like the fact that it has a nice, good pointy tip, because when you like to get out and do some bushcrafting type of activities, a good tip is very handy to have, and in my opinion, it's very handy to have on any type of survival / hunting / camping knife. Excuse me. These scales are desert ironwood, and they look just wonderful, I think. And one thing about Bark River knives is they offer so many choices in scale materials for their knives. It's just great. Some people like Bark River knives and some people don't. I have quite a few of the Bark River knives, and I have to say that I do enjoy their knives. I haven't had any issues with them, but to each their own. It also comes with a very nice sheath. One thing about Bark River is they include a good quality sheath. You may not like the style of sheath that it is, but you have to at least admit that it's a good quality sheath, and better than most that you get from other knives and other knife makers. So I'll give you maybe a little bit of background about the Bravo series of knives. And I've read some stuff on the internet. I've seen all kinds of things, and saw some conflicting stories about how the Bravo knife came about. And so I called Bark River Knives, and I had an opportunity to talk with Mike Stewart on the phone. he was very gracious with his time, and he loves talking about knives. We had a great conversation, and I'll basically tell you what he shared with me. And that is that he was contacted from some folks from the Force Recon Marines. And those guys actually were trainers. They were instructors that did the survival training for the Force Recon guys. And they were looking for a new knife. And they had used their own money, and they had bought a bunch of different knives from different manufacturers, and they really liked the Bark River knife that they chose, and they had called him, Mike Stewart, and they had some suggestions and some things they would like to see in a knife that, and would he be willing to make one. And you know, he put his own spin on it, and he made what was the original Bark River Bravo. And that knife is still very popular today. And I bought one of those knives, and it has that very thick material for the blade like this does. It was originally made in A2 steel, and it is like a little sharpened crowbar. The only thing I liked the handle, I liked the way it felt. I wished it was a little bit longer. Now the Bark River Bravo series of knives has really expanded, and there's just about something for everybody, I think. And this 1.25 is, I think, an outstanding addition to the series of knives. If I had my rathers, I guess I would rather see this knife with the same thickness of blade that he uses on the Bravo 1 Light, and that's about half as thick as this knife right here. But with the CPM 3V, or even in his A2 steel, that would really, in my opinion, be a great all-around knife. So I've done a little bit of everything with this knife, and I guess I'll have to make a video and show this knife in use a little bit and do a little whittling, maybe a little slicing. And of course, you know, it's YouTube, and so you got to have, if you're going to do a knife video, you got to do some batoning, right? So with all that said, thank you folks for watching my videos. I certainly appreciate it. If you're looking for a robust survival type knife, a woodsman knife, something for bushcraft or camping, or whatever the case may be, a good, sturdy, robust general purpose knife, this is a knife that you should consider. Take a look at, see if you like the characteristics of the knife. At any rate, folks, thank you for watching my videos, and remember to shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.